All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Jay McLovin here on this Tuesday. How's it going, Jay?
Man, it is just amazingly great, man. The weather's freaking beautiful outside. What a day to be alive, honestly, Gonzo. Interestingly
It's not
enough,
too bad
man.
here. It's in the 50s here. It's supposed. I think it's supposed to start raining here pretty soon, but
Hey, for
it's not
Indiana, that's
too bad.
summertime.
Yeah, it's not too bad today. It's nice for this time of year.
Man, for up north, man. If you're in the 50s at this time of the year, yeah, you're doing that's like summertime for you guys.
Yeah, it won't last.
No. Hey, listen, it never does, man. Honestly, it never does. But hey, you gotta enjoy it while you have it, you know? Crazy though, man. Hey, I see where Sean Payton is already lowering the boom on Russell Wilson, telling him he can't have his personal quarterback coach or whatever in the clubhouse with him.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
I wonder
interesting.
if Russell's gonna have to go at the office too.
It's gonna be interesting because Sean Payton's coming in and laying down the law.
Yeah, and he figured he had to. Man, he's got to go in there and set it up, to be his thing. And look, let's be honest. Yeah. Hey, look, let's be honest. Was Russell Wilson's personal coach really doing him any favors?
Yes, he said he wouldn't let his quarterback coach or staff in the building. So we'll see how Russell Wilson takes that. Is this going to start something between him and Peyton right off the bat? I think Peyton's doing the right thing.
Oh man.
I think Peyton's doing the right thing. Get the people out of the building. There ain't nothing but a distraction. Anyway, you're basically letting everybody else on the team know that he gets special treatment. So I don't think that's a standard that you really want to set, especially when you're first coming into the building and you're trying to change the culture there from a team that got their ass whooped last year. You're trying to change that culture, and I think this is a good start. I think you have a hard time changing the culture if you don't change some of the stuff that they were allowing Russell Wilson to do last year.
Yeah, and let's be honest, if Russell Wilson's performance last year would have been better, okay, maybe he's got a point to have his coach there. But when Russell Wilson is basically shooting the poo-poo, come on, man. How is those quarterback coaches really working out for you?
If his performance had been better, Sean Payton wouldn't be the coach there. He'd still have Hackett. He'd still be able to do whatever the fuck he wanted to.
Exactly. So, hey, look, obviously, clearly, all that crap that whatever Russell Wilson is trying to do, this prima donna attitude that he has, clearly is not working for him. So sometimes you gotta redo things. And I think that's what Sean Payton is doing. Sean Payton's like, hey, there's a new sheriff in town.
Do you think Russell Wilson's going to buy into Sean Payton, though? Buy into these changes that Sean Payton is making, or do you think there's going to be a pushback, or do you think maybe if there is if there is a pushback, if he's going to make it publicly, or if he'll just try to address it in house?
So he does get addressed in house. Sean is going to go in there and say, look, yes, you're my head honcho on the field, but at the same time, I'm probably going to lay out several viewpoints of why your quarterback coaches and all this stuff hasn't worked out for you, and we're going to go a different approach to it. If you don't like it, tough noodles. Man, what you're doing has worked. Yeah, he owed a lot of money, but at the same time, he said, sounds like a robot.
Yeah, you're breaking up. You're breaking.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah. It started to work its way out, then you started breaking up, and then you.
That might be my internet, man. Internet out here today has been really kind of hit or miss. Even on my cable, it's been kind of hit or miss.
Now you're sounding all right.
Okay. Yeah, my internet's been kind of crazy today. Honestly, it's been off and on. Mike Hughes, get your butt on the show. Why are you in the comments? You're supposed to be on the show. Get your butt in here. Uh-oh. Hey, let me take this. I got to take this to my financial guy. I'll be right back, Gonzo.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. She got me at a bad time.
All right. So Jay's going to take a break from him, but no, Sean Payton has said he ain't going to allow this coaches and staff in the building. He also said that an eye for detail and focus in a pursuit for winning that is not for everybody. So it's going to be interesting to see if this starts some kind of rift between the two, or if Russell Wilson will buy in to Coach Payton's culture. But I know when he was asked about it, they asked if he's going to continue to have a personal quarterback coach, as well as other support personnel to work with the quarterback in the building. Payton was said, "I'm not familiar with that." He said, "That's foreign to me. That's not going to take place. I'm unfamiliar with it. Our staff will be here, our players will be here, and that'll be it." So it's going to be interesting. Oh, I agree, Mike. He is in for rude awakening. He's Hackett, and then we're letting him get away with whatever the hell he wanted to do last year. That's not going to fly anymore now that Sean Payton's in town. It's going to be interesting because if this don't work, how long are they going to give this to see it with Payton and Wilson and see if this works? I know you owe Wilson a bunch of money, so you can't move on from him right now because nobody's going to take on that contract, especially the way he played last year. You just give Payton a big contract. You got like what, 70 million a year in just these two guys. I mean, I know you have to at least give it this whole season, but do you give it maybe another season if it don't work out this season, or do you move on, or who do you move on from? And I still don't know if you'll be able to find anybody to take on Russell Wilson's contract after this year if it doesn't work out. Because if it doesn't work out, that means he probably didn't have a good year. I don't think it was all Russell Wilson last year. I think a lot of it was Nathaniel Hackett and the culture they allowed to be built there in Denver. Basically, let Russell Wilson do whatever he wanted, like he was a fucking king. And I think that had a lot to do with it. I think he'll be more prepared this year, more focused under Sean Payton. Do I think he's going to get back to playing how he did in Seattle? I don't know. I do think he'll play better because I think Payton will run a system that fits him a little better. But if you look at the system that Payton ran at New Orleans, it's not really close to what like the system that Russell Wilson succeeded in Seattle. Payton likes to get the ball out quick and play action. The play action would be good for Wilson, but Wilson likes to get out of the pocket. At least he did. He didn't get out of the pocket much this year. I don't know if that was because of Nathaniel Hackett or if that was Russell Wilson's choosing. But I think he has to get back to using his legs some. When he would get out of the pocket and move around, that's when he was at his best. He's not just a guy that can stand in the pocket and throw the ball. I mean, he's a shorter guy, has trouble seeing over the line when he's just trying to be a straight pocket passer. So I think Peyton's going to have to do a good job, maybe rolling him out, getting him out of the pocket some, make for some easier throws for him. But Russ is going to have to buy in. If he don't buy in, it's not going to matter. And after the way all the dumbass shit that they were letting them do last year is just, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Also, from reports, a lot of reports are favoring Aaron Rodgers to end up in Las Vegas with the Raiders. Oh, there's Jay back.
Sorry about that. I apologize, man. That was my home builder, and yeah, man, she caught me at a really weird time. I apologize, but yeah, let's get back into it, man. That shit is. Yeah. Oh man, I was just reading some of Mike Hughes' comments, man. Let me clean your pipes. What the hell is he talking about? I was just reading some of Mike Hughes' comments. I'm like, where is he going with this? I know I missed like half this conversation, but Mike always has the best comments, man. He said that shit is lame as fuck. Anyway, Russ is for man. Hey, listen.
That's basically what I was just saying that he's in a bit for a big rude awakening.
I think so, man. Honestly, because I think Russ is used to having his own way and doing what Russ wants to. I think if Seattle let him do it, I think Hackett let him do it, and I think now that it's not working for him, Sean's not that type of guy. Sean's going to come in and put down the law, whereas I think the other guys kind of catered to Russ. I don't think he's going to do that. He kind of catered to Drew Brees, but at the same time, Drew Brees was producing. So, when you're producing,
let me ask you this: say they have another terrible year this year. What do they do next year? Because are you going to be able to move on from Russ at that point? Is anybody going to take that contract? Now you're giving Sean Payton a lot of money. You're going to give him? I would say you're going to give him more than a year. So what happens if this year's a disaster?
I think if it happens, he could be moved, but there is going to be some restructuring of that contract. I don't think they're going to take the contract the way it is. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be a trade, and there's going to be some restructuring of that money. Just like no different than if Aaron Rodgers gets moved, and I think Aaron Rodgers already kind of came out and said, "Hey, look, I know if I get moved, I'm going to have to restructure some of this money to make it work." So I think. Just like they do the same thing for Rodgers, that would be the same thing for Russ. I think somebody will take a chance on Russ. Russ is still Russ, man. Somebody's going to take a flyer on him, right? He's still better than some of the other guys out there. For example, just take Carolina, for example. Russ is still better than any quarterback they got on that team right now. So, and I'm not saying that's where he's going, but I'm saying that, somebody out there like that would take a flyer most likely on him, but he's going to have to restructure a lot of that damn money. Or Denver is going to have to eat some of that money in order to move him one way, one or the other.
Yeah. But the problem is that at the level he's playing, he's not nearly worth why he's getting paid a year.
Oh, hell no, he's not. Oh, he's taking a huge hit. This year in Denver was really, really rough on Russ, man, in terms of his value, right? So, like I said, he's going to have to restructure some of that money if they do decide to move on from him. How much did he get guaranteed? Like that, it wasn't a fully guaranteed contract. How much would he get guaranteed, dude? I don't know if he had that number offhand.
I have to look it up. But do you think that he's going to look better this year with Sean Payton? Do you think he's going to buy into that system and that he'll play at a better level?
Yeah, I don't think Russ has a choice. Look, Russ knows that his rep. Look, Russ is not stupid. He may be a prima donna, but he's not stupid. He knows that his reputation over the past year has taken a hit. He knows his value is taking a hit, right? This was not a good year for Russ. He knows that. Everybody knows that. Even if his damn agent knows that. So I think at this point, Russ is going to probably look, if anybody can turn him around, it's going to be Sean Payton. You know what I'm saying?
They signed him to a 5-year, $242 million contract with $161 million guaranteed. Average annual salary of just under $50 million. And he also got a $50 million signing bonus.
Oh, wow, man.
So $161 million guaranteed.
Man, I can only imagine what that cap hit's going to be on them.
Wilson's contract, let's see, 2023 salary cap. Wilson's $49 million per year extension. Overall, he's under contract for 7 years for a total of $296 million.
Yeah, there's going to be some restructuring in there if they decide to move on from him. But at the end of the day, man, look, if Sean Payton can resurrect Drew Brees from when he was with the Chargers and revive his career, and if he could take Jameis Winston from what he was doing over there and what he was doing or starting to do with New Orleans up until the point where he got hurt, he can do something with Russell Wilson. He can't. It's more not so much can he do it, is will Russ allow him to do it? I think that's where it's really going to – can Russell Wilson put that prima donna aside and be like, okay, I need to redo some things here. And can he allow Sean Payton to work with him? That's where I think it's really going to be more tricky.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, some of these prima donnas in the league, they don't think their shit stinks.
Yeah, that and I mean, if can he's going to play at a higher level than he did last year, and we'll see how much of it. I guess we'll see how much of it was Hackett and how much of it was Russell Wilson. Because if he still looks bad with Sean Payton. I think we got to put a
Yeah.
little bit more of it on Russell Wilson than what we were.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Sean Payton has a proven track record of taking quarterbacks at a rough spot and building them up into something great or something really good. And if he can't do that with Russell Wilson, then you know the issues with Russell Wilson, not with Sean Payton. Like I said, when you got a proven track record, come on.
Oh no,
I tell you, man. I hope Russ can do that. I hope Russ can put his BS aside, man, and really hunker down. But at the end of the day, he's not a Cowboy, so I don't really give a damn what he does. If he sucks, he sucks.
Then Brian Flores was with Pittsburgh last year as a defensive assistant and a linebackers coach. He took the defensive coordinator job with the Minnesota Vikings. He had an interview with the Cardinals yesterday for a second interview, and it sounded like he might be in one of the front runners. But then he came out of that interview and accepted the job with the Minnesota Vikings. But from what I heard in that interview, he was told that their plans are to move on from DeAndre Hopkins. And I think with that, and with Kyler Murray being out, I think he felt like it wasn't the right situation for him, and I think it's a great hire for Minnesota, and I think I think this is good for both sides. I think this is good for Flores because it puts you in a good position. You're with a team that has a good offense. You get this defense turned around. You're going to be one of the hottest names out there for next year in the coaching cycle. So I think it's a good situation for both because Minnesota's defense was one of the worst in the league, and now you have a real good defensive minded guy coming in as defensive coordinator. And I think can turn it around. So I think this was a great move by Minnesota, but I also think it was pretty much a great move for Flores. Kind of maybe trusting your gut, not going into a situation that you didn't think felt right.
Yeah, when them guys go in for those interviews, it's not just the team interviewing them. It's also the coaches themselves interviewing the team because it has to be the right fit. You have your philosophy has to be in alignment with your GM's philosophy and your owner's philosophy, right? And if those philosophies or those directions aren't lining up, yeah, you're right. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And to take that head coaching job where you're automatically set up for failure because you can't do what you want to do, or the way your coaching philosophy is, yeah, it's not going to work. And matter of fact, it would probably hinder him for future head coaching assignments that might be out there because it didn't work there. So, yeah. He does have to be pick and choose. And it is you interviewing them and them interviewing you. And sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. But I will say this. Brian Flores is a really smart, intelligent coach. And I got to be honest with you. If I'm the GM, I'm going to look at his track record. And Brian Flores' track record is pretty impeccable, honestly, with what he did with Miami, how he did as a coordinator or as a defensive assistant with the Steelers. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's been successful. So I think to me, that almost tells me if he pulls his name out of it, and it's not them saying that they don't want him, it's him saying that he doesn't want them. That tells me there might be some stuff going over there at Arizona that maybe they're still not going to be on the right track. You know what I mean?
Well, Arizona's a dumpster fire right now anyway, because you have DeAndre, you're talking about moving DeAndre Hopkins. You have Kyler Murray hurt. You'll miss some of the regular season. You're looking for a new head coach. Your GM resigned, and he was among allegations of of something that he might have done wrong. He resigns. So now you're trying to bring in a new GM, a new head coach. You don't have your quarterback that you thought was going to be your franchise quarterback. Whether it's going to be or not is still up in the air. I don't think he's proven that he's that guy yet. When he's healthy, I think he's up and down. He hasn't really been consistent enough yet. But the problem is he gets hurt, and that was one of the worries about him coming to the league was his size, and was his body going to be able to stay together? And he's been having some injury issues, and that's just, I mean, that's a bad situation to walk into.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I got to be honest, if I'm Arizona, unless you're just going to go to rebuild mode or whatever, I would probably look to bring in, a Baker Mayfield or maybe a Garoppolo or whatever and put them on the roster. I mean, you could probably get them at a pretty decent price. Either you could probably get it at a decent price and would keep you afloat until Kyler Murray comes back from injury. There's things that Arizona can do other than just throw in the towel and say we're a dumpster fire. But I think that Arizona's commitment to winning may not be what Brian Flores' commitment to winning looks like. And I think that could have been an issue.
Well, Arizona's first problem was they hired Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, of course.
That was your first mistake. And then, because I mean, with a young guy like Kyler Murray, I think they should have brought in a more experienced coach, not a guy that just got fired from his job in college football. He couldn't win in college at Texas Tech. So what made you think he was going to come in the NFL and win? It just makes a lot of sense to me.
But good coaches can turn around.
Huh?
I'm saying good coaches can turn around dumpster fires. I mean, if you look at the Giants, look how bad the Giants were when Dable took over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you get the right coach, what I'm saying is Kingsbury, that was just a bad decision from the get-go. And the only reason they done it was because Kingsbury had a relationship with Murray from in college. And you can't, just because they had some success together in college, how successful was they? Because he lost his job. I mean, you know what I mean? So the success they had together in college didn't lead to winning.
Yeah, if anything, I thought Cliff Kingsbury he could have came over there as an offensive coordinator or what have you, with Arizona and still been able to do with Kyler Murray.
Not as a head coach. That doesn't make no sense.
I really think that kind of hampered Kingsbury, was going from straight out of college into the pros as a head coach. Sometimes it works out, like Pete Carroll on the second attempt, it worked out and so forth, but it doesn't always work out. I mean, I think Nick Saban was a perfect example of, you could be great at college and not so great at the NFL level.
Yep.
And sometimes it takes a second stint. Like in Pete Carroll's situation, it took a second stint for him to find a Super Bowl with Seattle, whereas, he was terrible with New England when he was with the Patriots as a head coach.
Sometimes it just decides. Sometimes it depends on what situation you walk into as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Even Bill Belichick didn't have successes his first time.
I got to be honest with you, man. And I wonder if Flores did this. I wonder if Flores said, look, you guys, like you said, Gonzo, I wonder if he went in there brutally honest and said, look, this is a dumpster fire here. And if you want me to come in here and be your head coach, I need to have say so of what we do left, right, up or down with draft picks, free agents, what have you. I need to have I need to have my hand in on that, on what we do. And maybe that just wasn't what Arizona was willing to do. And I think maybe that's why he went and took that coordinator job. You know what I'm saying? You're muted.
Yeah, it could be. It's going to be interesting to see what direction they go. They're going to have to bring, I think, another quarterback in, at least until Murray gets back on the field.
Yeah, I wonder what, and I still kind of wonder what the Rams are going to do with their quarterback situation. Clearly, Matt Stafford is there. You got Baker still on the roster. I mean, is Baker going to stay there? Is Baker going to leave? What's going to go on with that? Because I think Baker would be a good gap fill quarterback, until Kyler Murray came back.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about Baker no more. That dude, he's let me down every time I'm trying to get behind him and support him.
Well, yeah, he really, but truthfully, when he was with the Rams, he was doing he wasn't doing a bad job with the Rams. He was doing a good job. I mean, you got to consider there was no Cooper Kupp, there was no Robinson. I mean, he was down to Van Jefferson or whatever his name is, and a couple of other scrub, wide receivers. I mean, it's not like he had the cream of the crop to throw to, and he was still doing pretty good with them.
Yeah, he was. He didn't do too bad in LA. He looked terrible in Carolina. And of course we've seen why he done in Cleveland. Cleveland, I still don't understand why they moved on from him as quick as they did.
Right.
But then he went to Carolina. I was like, okay, maybe that's why they moved on from him.
I thought he didn't play too bad with Carolina, though, man. Matt Rule and that whole situation over there, I just felt like he was in a bad. That sometimes, like you said, sometimes it's a situation. Sometimes it's the right situation, the wrong situation that you stepped into. And I just felt like when he went to Carolina, that just wasn't the best situation to step into for him.
His biggest problem is he hasn't been able to play at a consistent level. You know what I mean? There'll be
he's always been kind of inconsistent with that. Even in Cleveland. There was some inconsistencies there, which I think is why they started looking at other quarterbacks because they weren't getting, like you said, the consistent play. And look, Cleveland had a good offensive line. They had great wide receivers. They have a hell of a running back system. Truthfully, if you want to say, I mean, if you want to make a case for him not being a good quarterback, that Cleveland situation would have been probably the best situation to say that because he had all the tools there to be successful.
The only thing,
truthfully. Or weapons, not tools, but he had all the weapons to be successful. Let me put that way.
The only thing against him, and the biggest thing that was against him in Cleveland was it seemed like he had a new head coach, a new quarterback coach or offensive coordinator every fucking year, except the last 2 seasons.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing I would say.
They're finishing up the book and everything on him to where he could not develop the consistency with them.
That's the thing in Cleveland. I think that might have hurt him, but other than that, he can't complain what Cleveland put around him. Cleveland surrounded him with weapons that you should be winning football games with.
Yeah, in all honesty, man, I think Cleveland. You want to talk about dumpster fires? I'm not saying that Cleveland's a dumpster fire, but they do make some not so good decisions. Like I tell you right now, giving Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract, coming off 2 years of not playing and all the issues that he's having to go through, I just think that was a bad decision on their part to make that type of commitment to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't understand it either, especially when you had Baker. Why not stay with him and be the first time he's had the same coach for a while? And then they's like, boom, we're blowing this shit up. Baker, you get the hell out of here. We'll go with Jacoby Brissett over you. It's like, what the hell's going on over here in Cleveland? Maybe they got a hold of some good shit.
Yeah. And again, where does it start with? It starts with ownership. Ownership, getting the right general manager, getting the right head coach, and going from that direction. And what's that dude's name? The coach there, Stefanski, whatever the name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not the right guy, but they definitely had some issues there with him in terms of consistent development, right? You had before Amari Cooper, you had Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. And I felt like they didn't use Odell Beckham in the right way. And then you moved on from Odell Beckham, you brought in Amari Cooper, and how'd that play out so far with them? They still didn't make the playoffs. They were out of the playoffs. Which, if you look at this team and the weapons that this team has, both on the defensive side and the offensive side, they should have been in the playoffs. Maybe not, Super Bowl level, but at the very least, they should have been in the playoffs with the weapons that they have.
Who, Cleveland?
Yeah.
Well, what messed up, kind of hurt him this year was you had Brissett as your quarterback for the first 13 games.
Yeah.
And then you try to go to Watson, who's coming off not playing for 2 years. So you knew he was going to be rusty. It was going to take him some time to get going.
Right.
I think this season here with Watson having a full off season, I think this will be the season that's going to tell us if he can get back to playing at a high level.
Well, and two, the way that they handled the whole quarterback situation there, bringing in Deshaun Watson, still having, Baker on your payroll, but you can't play Deshaun Watson. I mean, how much awkwardness and dysfunction can you put into one season before the season even starts? It's like, come on, what are you doing?
It's going to be interesting.
I'm telling hey, you talk about a shit show or a dumpster fire. That's exactly what this season looked like. And that's exactly what the Cleveland ownership group looked like, a dumpster fire of bullshit. Before the season even starts.
Today's Tuesday. It's Super Bowl week. And we're just a few days away from the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
Mind you,
I'll be honest.
Has the Chiefs and I have the Eagles. So there you go.
I'll be honest. I don't have a team in the fight. My team is the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh no.
Let me finish what I'm saying. So all I really care about is we have a good Super Bowl. But I do think the Chiefs are going to win this game. The experience of Andy Reid and the experience of Patrick Mahomes, I think in the end is going to be the difference. I think and I told you this yesterday. I think this game's going to come down to a last second field goal. I really do. I think it's going to be a back and forth, real close Super Bowl. I think it has the ability to be one of the better ones we've seen over the last few years. But I expect this game to come down to the end. I don't think it's going to be a game that's decided like in the third quarter. We already know who's going to win. I think this game's going to come down to the end, and probably going to come down to who makes that big mistake and turns the ball over.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Mahomes got he got his only Super Bowl in his second year, correct? If I'm thinking right, or was it the third year that he was there?
I think it was his second year.
Because part of my mind is telling me in my brain, I'm thinking it was his second year that he won the Super Bowl. And if you think about it, Jalen Hurts won the wild card his rookie season. He won the wild card or got into the wild card, and then he now he's in the Super Bowl on his second year. I mean, if that's not traveling in the same footsteps in terms of success as what Patrick Mahomes did, I mean, I know they talk about the Mahomes experience. Well, let's not forget the Jalen Hurts experience. And I understand. Look, everybody has off games. Even Patrick Mahomes has had some shitty games, and we've seen where he's had some shitty games. So let's not. I mean, I don't want to define Hurts by, maybe one lackluster performance, right? Because he's got a lot of good performances before the lackluster. So I'm just saying, I don't write off Hurts by no means. And I don't write off Goddard. I don't write off Devontae Smith. I mean, Brown. I mean, they have a fully stacked offensive unit over there. And that defense ain't no slouch either. So, I mean, like you said, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it's going to be it's going to be a close game because, it's going to be, the teams are pretty closely evenly matched. I think, some of the strengths of, Philadelphia, is about as good as, some of the strengths of the Chiefs. So, yeah, man, I think it's going to be a good all around, man. It could be a good game. I think the winning team is going to be the one that executes their game plan the best. If you go out there and you execute the game plan, you're going to be fine because both of them have great play callers, right? All of them have great players at skilled positions. It's going to come down to who can execute the game plan the best.
Yeah, I think that and who makes the mistake, who makes that mistake and puts the ball on the ground, or a big penalty in a big moment. I mean, who makes more of them mistakes is going to be the team that loses that game.
Damn, who's wearing all white? Is that going to be the Eagles that wear that, or is it the Chiefs?
I can't remember. I think the Eagles are wearing the white. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. I'll look that up in a second. Before that,
if I'm wrong, it's the away team that's in whites, correct? Which I would think that I think the Chiefs have the home field advantage. So it should be the Eagles in white.
Let's see. I'll look it up real quick.
Your dad said prayers to Jerry the King Lawler, who is in the hospital in serious condition with a stroke. Man, yeah, absolutely. Prayers going out to the Lawler family, man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He said no. Okay, so Chiefs are wearing white. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
if that's
Eagles
the case,
will be wearing,
you said what now?
yeah, Eagles are going to be wearing green.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Hey, did you see that? Yeah. Broderick
Chiefs
said Chiefs are wearing white. Hey, Greg.
That's not don't
Hey,
mean a lot to
Greg.
me.
Hey,
I'm
Greg.
with Greg. No Chiefs.
Hold on. Hey, Greg. So your Chiefs are wearing all white, and how do you feel about that stat? Not looking good for you. I just wanted to point that out. Anthony Price, I appreciate you bringing up that stat. That's a good stat. Oh, but it's time
I'm
to
not
be
worried
alive.
about that. I'm not worried about that stat. I guarantee you, Greg ain't worried about that stat.
Oh no. Don't let Greg fool you. Greg's worried. He's worried. Look, he should be worried. I mean, look, these teams are evenly matched. He should be worried a little bit. Come on.
He might be worried, but he ain't worried about that. He's not worried about a stat about if they wear white or green.
Hey, listen, I'm not telling you what to be worried about, but I'd be worried. He said they giving the Eagles a Super Bowl since they won't win an award from NFL honors. Oh wow!
Hey,
wow!
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we all know that the NFL is scripted, so.
Wow! Listen, I'm not touching now. I'm gonna let that one just sit there and marinate for a few minutes.
Have you?
Have
you seen all the comments? All the what? Oh, who was it? There's a former player for Houston. Came out and said the NFL was scripted. That they hand you the script. and people were going crazy about it on Twitter. It was funny as hell. But no, real quick, before we move on to that, was back to this. Yeah, definitely praise with Jerry Lawler. He one of the better guys that's been in the wrestling business. I mean, he's a legend in the wrestling business. WWE Hall of Famer. Is a great commentator, but was also a great performer. Wish he would have got a world title. Never got that world title, but still, yeah. Like I say, he's a legend. So hope he gets a speedy recovery there for the King.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this: can we get this LeBron James scoring thing? Because I got a question. I know we're kind of switching topics, going from football to basketball, but I was trying to find out how long Kareem's career was. Do you know how long? I'm pretty sure LeBron has played considerably longer than what Abdul did, right? Or are they about the same?
I would have to look that up.
I wish I would have looked that up before we came on today. Because what I'm wondering is,
I'm looking it up right
now. He said, "Poor baby." Because let me ask you this: I'm pretty sure LeBron's been in the league for what 20 years now, 21 years, something like that, somewhere in that neighborhood, right? 20 years at least. Am I right? I'm pretty sure LeBron's been in
probably close to that.
Let me ask you this. Here's what I'm trying.
Okay,
what's that?
Kareem played 20 seasons in the NBA.
Kareem did play 20 seasons.
Okay, let me see what LeBron. Uh, LeBron James. He was drafted in 2003, so he's played. This would be his 20th season.
Wow. Okay. 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 That's interesting that he's going to break the record in the same number of seasons as Kareem did it. Interesting.
Yes, but he also he got an NBA at a younger age, so you could also make the argument that he had three more years in his prime than what
Kareem did.
or 4 more years.
I guess that's what I'm saying is
because Kareem played 4 years in college.
Yeah. So what I guess my point is that record, to me, it's a great record and it's definitely his record to have, but is it a little skewed because of that fact?
I think it is a little bit. I mean, it's a great record. To me, it still don't make LeBron the GOAT. I mean, that's just
I know by no means, right? I mean, longevity in a league. I mean, here's the deal.
Don't get me wrong, and that's not me. And that's not me taking a shot at LeBron because he's a great player. He has, to me,
because here's
Michael,
the deal, right?
Michael Jordan's the GOAT to me, but
yeah.
I grew up in that era. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up in the LeBron. I mean, wasn't like I was old, but when LeBron started playing basketball, I was 20. Well, yeah, I was 20 years old. So so I grew up watching Michael and all that, and I watched a lot of LeBron James, but just by my eyeballs, Michael, I still have Michael Jordan ahead of LeBron.
But and again, that's no different than if you look at the NFL. Yeah, Emmitt Smith holds the rushing record, but Emmitt played a hell of a lot longer than Barry did. But I guarantee you, if you ask me who the GOAT is, listen, I'm a Cowboys fan, okay? But if you ask me who the GOAT is, it's not Emmitt Smith at the running back position. It's Barry Sanders, in my opinion. It's just Barry was just so much. I mean, his skill sets was just so much better. It's just he didn't play as long.
He's the best running back that my eyes have seen. Is Barry Sanders. I remember watching him with Detroit. They'd hand him the ball. They'd hand him the ball. He would run up the middle, and he would disappear because he'd be just covered with linemen. And all of a sudden, he'd pop out the other side and be gone for like 65 yards.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. People don't understand how great Barry Sanders was. When you look at that Detroit offensive line, it was garbage. So every damn yard that Barry got was like a legit his earned yard. Not, he had a great offensive line. No, them stats, that's all Barry. Barry with no help. Why he retired so he got tired of it.
Yeah, he wanted to get out of there. They wouldn't trade him, so he retired.
I would too, man. I mean, look, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I going to keep ruining my body behind this horrible offensive line that's not going to get any better? I got plenty of money. I'm good.
AP said only Cowboys fans will say Smith is the GOAT.
That's not true. I think I just dispelled that theory.
Yeah, but no, he said only people that are Cowboys fans would say that he's the GOAT. He's agreeing with you that most people would say it's Sanders or somebody else.
I mean, but I don't want to take anything away from Emmitt either. I mean, Emmitt was a great running back, but he wasn't better than Barry Sanders. And I'll be honest with you, he wasn't better than Barry Sanders. No way. But fantastic running back.
AP also said, "Who cares if he breaks it? Luka will break that record." Do you think Luka will break LeBron's all-time scoring record?
It's very possible. I mean, he's averaging 30 some odd points. I mean, he's averaging the same number of points, and he has been for his career that Braun was averaging, right? I mean,
but is he going to play? Is he going to
play? That's the deciding factor, right? Will he play as long as what Braun has? I mean, injuries, things like that. I mean, that will tell. But
how many more years is LeBron going to play? How many more years is LeBron going to play?
God, I don't know, man. That dude's like a fucking unicorn. I mean, seriously. I mean, there's not a whole lot of unicorns that come into the league. But I would say
he's wanting to try to play with his son, but his son will be what, a freshman in college next season?
I don't even think his son goes to college. I think his son goes straight to either the G League or into the NBA.
No, he's going to a college. He broke it down, or they were talking like he was, because he had it down, narrowed it down to like 3 or 4 schools or something. Because right now you have to play
college basketball.
It was talked like who was it? It was Ohio State was one of them. Man, it was like 3 or 4 schools.
Curry won't make it that long to break LeBron's record. I don't see that happening. Greek, possibly. I think out of all the 3 that Anthony Price just labeled, I think probably Luka has the best shot at it. I think Luka has the best shot at it because even when his athleticism dissipates, his ability to make shots, at the 3-point range and so forth will carry him on. Just like you don't see Bron really doing the super athletic stuff anymore. He just, he's just a great shooter, things like that. That's what's carrying him. Getting to the foul line, things like that. That's what's carrying Bron at this point. And I'm not saying that Bron can't go dunk because we've seen LeBron dunk. I'm just saying that at his age, that's not what his game is built around. His game is built around the 3-point line or maybe layups or something of that nature. And I don't think layups anymore. I think he's more of a mid-range, maybe even 3-point shooter at this point.
Yeah, do you think LeBron's 36 points shy? You think he's going to get that 36 tonight?
Absolutely. Yeah. Without a shadow of doubt. Yeah, because is AD back? AD's back, correct?
I think he'll be playing.
I'm pretty sure AD's back now. I think they got everybody back off that injury list.
Well, I think AD and LeBron were both. AD and LeBron, if I remember right, were both listed as day-to-day. But as far as I know, they're both playing tonight.
Well, I think at this point, with obviously with Bron, it's more load management than anything else. I wouldn't be surprised. They really need to do load management with AD. Like, you can't have that guy on back-to-back nights. I don't think that's good for AD. But I don't know, man. AD kind of every time I see AD, man, I feel like Saquon Barkley. Like, when he gets on the court, if you just blow the wrong way, that dude's going down. That dude's going down on the injury report. So they lost last night to the Pelicans. Let me see if AD played in that game. I don't think he did. Yeah, he did. He played 38 minutes last night. Was it last night? Whatever that night was. The night they played the Pelicans. The last game they played when they played the Pelicans. Damn, he scored 34 points, too. I mean, he had a pretty good night. 34 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, he had a good night. Hachimura gave him 8. Bron gave him 27. 13 from Brown. 15 from West. I don't know, man. They lost it, but they only lost by 5. Hachimura went 2 for 7.
Bronny's being recruited by Oregon, Ohio State, USC, and others.
Interesting.
I think he'll go to college, or he's not NBA ready. The younger boy, in my opinion, Bryce, the younger boy, is better than Bronny. I think Bryce is going to be the best one.
To be honest with you, I've only seen highlights of Bronny. I haven't seen anything on Bryce. Now, Bryce is obviously the younger one, correct?
Yeah.
What makes you think Bryce is going to be better than Bronny? Just the way he's playing right now and the way he's scoring, or what?
I just think he has a better shot. I think he's a little more athletic. I just think he's the better player out of the two. I've watched some of Bronny's high school games that were aired on ESPN. And he's not bad. I just think Bryce is a little more consistent than what Bronny is.
Yeah, I think either way you look at it, I don't think either one of the Suns are ever going to be as good as what Braun was. I
Oh,
mean, Braun was just a mythical beast in high school, and
oh
these
yeah,
kids
it's hard for
high school.
well, it's hard for kids to try to live up to that.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no, absolutely, it is. You know what? I think he does, Anthony, because he's in LA. What better time to do it than on your home court, man, where you got all your fans and all your hoopla around you? You know, I think he does do it tonight. I don't think he does it on the road.
well, he's playing against the
Yeah,
Thunder.
they got the Thunder, yeah. So, I mean, that's not too hard of a team to put 36, 37 points on.
Oh, and this is the second game of a back-to-back for the Thunder. Thunder played last night. Lakers didn't. So that's another thing to look at for the Thunder. Thunder are 2-3 over the last 5 games. They're 9-17 on the road. So Thunder haven't been great on the road. I think this is I think this is a game where he'll get it. Only thing I'm wondering is, are him and his teammates going to be so focused on him trying to get that 36? Is it going to hurt the way they play and keep the Thunder in the game?
Well, they already suck right now, so they're going to make much more of a damn difference. I mean, honestly, I mean they lost. I'm sorry, I mean, these guys are sitting at what? I think 2 spots ahead of the damn Rockets. Bro, look, when you're sitting two spots ahead of the Rockets right now, that's not looking good for you. Now he is 3 games out of the play-in right now. Is where the Lakers sit. They're around 3 games out of the play-in. So, I mean, whether they win or lose at this point with this team, unless they do some more drastic changes, you know, I think y'all said it earlier, bro. I think maybe at best they're a play-in, but I don't think they go further.
They only have a couple days if they want to try to make a trade.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Because what is today? You're right. Because today's the 7th, and I think the 9th. So they got 2 days to make something happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to carry this team all the way to the end, the way it's constructed. Personally, because if there was anything that was going to happen, trust me. There's so many people that would have already reported it by now. Hey, this is in the works. There'd be rumors out. If something was going to happen, we already have rumors out right now. I don't think it's just going to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving going to make his debut with the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night. Luka may or may not play. Luka didn't play last night.
What you say? Yeah, they make and he makes his debut against the Clippers.
Yep, on Wednesday. And they don't know if Luka will play yet or not. Like I said, Luka set out last night, but we don't know about Wednesday. But yeah, that's where they're planning on Irving making his debut because the trade finally went official yesterday.
I'll tell you right now, man, I cannot imagine him not playing. I think I would say he's playing. And I think Luka plays too, by the way. I don't think Luka sits that game out. By the way, Dallas is already touting themselves as title contenders. I read a couple of articles where they were touting themselves as title contenders. I don't see it. I still think they got some things to figure out over there.
Well, there's talk that they're trying to get Levine. If they have Levine, I think that helps them.
Jeez, man.
There's also talks that Durant might get traded to the Celtics, and Jaylen Brown's involved in that, and that's that kind of.
I'm trying out. That trade does come to fruition.
I'd like to know what the Celtics fans think of that. Like, you know what I mean? What is their thoughts on? Would you trade Jaylen Brown for KD?
I want to say I bet if I was a bet man, I would say you probably get a mixed reaction.
This is a spot when you need pride.
Well, he is a resident Boston Celtics guru for us, so yeah, it would be nice to have his thought process on what he thinks.
To me,
Anthony Price, what do you think, man? I mean, you know what we're talking about for Brown.
Grant's a hell of a player, but I don't know if I would trade for him and include Brown in the package. The way that team's been playing this year,
See, Anthony Price, come on now. Aren't we Facebook friends? Go look at me. Go look at where I'm from. You know I'm from Texas, man. I'm not from Georgia. I'm actually, believe it or not, Anthony Price, I'll be moving back to Texas in June. So I'm only in Georgia until June. And then, of course, in June, I'm off to Texas. So come on now. Come on. But Georgia's been good to me. I can't complain about Georgia. It's been a good spot. It's been a good spot. Met the wife here, so it's not too bad, I guess. But yeah, man, I really think that if you look at it, right, you got Durant, like I said earlier, all the talent in the world, right? Talent-wise, Durant is better than Brown. But Brown is healthier than Durant. And I'm sorry. Your best attribute is to be on the court. And if you're not on the court, you're not helping your team out.
And not just that. Not just that either. Brown has chemistry built up with Tatum.
He does have chemistry. These guys have been playing together for a hot minute now.
But not just Tatum, the whole team. And you bring in Durant, and you're to me, one, it's a risk because of his injuries, and two, it's a risk because you're changing. You might change the chemistry of your team. You know what I mean? So, but with the injuries, man, I don't know. I mean, it'd be great to have Durant, but also you got to look at what you're giving, what you're going to give up to get him.
I'm under the belief that if I've got the best record in the league and the wheel's not broke, why am I trying to fix it? I mean, really, why are you trying to fix it?
I agree.
Because sometimes when you try to fix something that's not broke, you make it worse. Sometimes you got to leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Stop trying to make everything a super team with this, that, or the other, man. If you got chemistry and you got talent, let it ride. And you're winning, let it ride. Sometimes people think the grass is going to be greener on the other side. It's never greener like you think.
What in the hell? Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee show.
Wow. Did you see 49ers are hiring Steve Wilkes as their new defensive coordinator? I would hire Steve Wilkes. What that guy did with Carolina as the interim?
No, that's a good spot. That's a good spot for him.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's a natural transition from D'Amico over to him. Be perfect.
You got a lot of talent over on the defensive side of the ball. So,
look, I'm just saying, damn.
He went there. It's going to be interesting to see where these quarterbacks end up. Been a lot of talk about Rodgers ending up in with the Raiders. Be interesting. Carr. Raiders have to make a decision on Carr by the 15th, or they're going to owe him a lot more. They're going to owe him a lot more money. And he already said he's
over there saying like, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to pay me this money.
Yeah, because he already said he's not working with them and extending that date. So
would you? Hey, after what the Raiders did to you and what you gave them, would you?
So they either got to find somebody to trade for or they got to release them.
Gonzo, I got to be honest with you. I'm real big on loyalty, man. I'm real big on loyalty, and I feel like David Carr has been extremely loyal to this organization. And for them not to be loyal back, considering he's still playing at a good level, I don't get that. I don't understand it one bit. And I know you can say business is business, but the business isn't with him. Because last time I checked, he was in the playoffs last year. So what are we talking about?
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't understand. I didn't understand when they benched him like that. I was like, really? What? I mean, yeah, they didn't have a great year, but can you really blame that all on Carr?
No, of course not. I always said, man, you got a test and you got a variable. No, you got a constant and you got a variable in every scientific experiment. Now, this experiment that the Raiders are doing, the constant was Carr, the variable was the head coach. and you change from your interim to this guy, and all of a sudden you go from the wild card to no card. What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it takes a mathematician to figure that out. And I don't know about you, but Devontae Adams was a huge upgrade over Ruggs. So, hey, if anything, you upgraded your damn team.
Yeah, and they didn't look like it.
No, they were dog doo doo.
I still think a lot of us do with the coach, but we'll see. He's going to be able. It looks like he's going to get with the quarterback that he wants. So we'll see whether that's going to be Stidham or Rodgers. If they come in the season starting Stidham and you release Carr for that to me that's a pretty bad look. But
I almost said
if that is what their plan is, McDaniels better hope to hell that he can make it work with Stidham or he's going to be gone. You know what I mean? If he's the one that's like, hey, I can win with Stidham, I can't win with Carr, and they let him, they move on with Carr, and it doesn't work, he's going to be gone. And I don't think if this doesn't work with the Raiders, I don't see him getting another chance as a head coach. Now, after the way it went in Denver, and if this keeps going the direction that it's going, he's not going to get another chance at a head coach. Hell, he might end up back in New England as offensive coordinator again.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I mean, seriously. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm not saying the Raiders are a dumpster fire, but I got to be honest with you. Their decision making is right up there with Arizona and a few others. Honestly, I mean, it's I'll tell you, man. Hey, I think we got to look out for the Texans, though. I like the DeMeco Ryans hire over there. I really do, and I think he's going to do some good things. I think he's going to give stability back to a team that for the last 2 or 3 years has been unstable. And the fact that they got such a high pick to bring in the quarterback of their future, I mean, honestly, I see some big things in the next 3 to 4 years. I see some big things for the Texans. I really do.
I think he'll get turned around. A lot of it's going to depend on if they can find the right quarterback. You got that high pick, but I mean, you just got to hope you get the right guy that works out. I mean, we've seen a lot of these top picks that don't work out. So, you know what I mean? It's not a guarantee, but you're set up in the best position that you could be on trying to get your young quarterback with having that. Well, I guess the only position you could be better is if you had the number 1 pick, but still you're in a good position. But it's just, is that guy going to pan out and be that guy? And I mean, and you don't know, you know what I mean? You're going off everything that people have seen, but hey, we've seen them guys not be real great, and then we've seen guys get drafted late in later rounds be great. So it's not no perfect science.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, they're set up in a good position, especially with all the draft picks. He's set up to be able to really shape this team the way he wants in the next 2 years with this year's draft and next year's draft, with having like 13 picks this year and like 9 picks in the draft next year. And a lot of those are in the first 3 rounds of the draft. So he's gonna have a chance to really build this team the way he wants. But you got to hit on your picks and then especially hitting on that quarterback. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams miss on their draft picks, and then you're basically in the same position. You're just chasing yourself trying to get to that point.
Anthony Price says he saw a mock draft with Florida quarterback getting drafted to the Ravens. Does that mean that Huntley has gone? I said, listen, Anthony, are you talking about the recently promoted Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley getting traded? That seems preposterous. He's a Pro Bowler. He's a Pro Bowler.
What was preposterous is that he was a Pro Bowler.
Hey, watch this. Hey, Gonzo, he's a Pro Bowler. He's top 10.
He ain't top 10.
Hey, listen, if you didn't pick up on that sarcasm, come on.
I don't even think he's top 20.
Hey, look, that's the best sarcasm I got, so just take it. I was going to say this for down the road when we get to final thoughts, but it's just too good to pass up, man. I don't know if on Around the Bases this morning, if you guys talked about it or not, but Cleveland Guardians hired the team's first female on-field coach, Amanda Kamakona. A former star softball player at UCLA has been hired as a minor league hitting instructor for the Guardians. She's the first female on-field coach in team history. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty good stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good to see that, man. The more females get involved in these coaching positions and things like that, it's good for baseball. What a time, Garzo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we didn't get to talk about that this morning. That was something we didn't get to. We was going to talk about tomorrow, but no, it is good for baseball. It'll be interesting to see if more teams start doing that, especially in the minor leagues, and see how it works, and then let them kind of work their way up. But it's a good thing. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. And we got about a week. Yeah, a week before pitchers and catchers report. So baseball. Well, next week we start getting some college baseball games. So baseball's here, just a week or two away, and then you got the World Baseball Classic in March. So we got baseball getting ready to ramp up. March Madness is coming. I know IU has a big game tonight, so I'll be watching that against Rutgers. I know Jay's team, Houston's number 2, but so right now they've been bouncing around that top 5 most of the season. Purdue's still number 1. They've been bouncing around right there around 1 and 2 all season.
Yeah, and so far Houston's lineup over the next 3 to 4 games. I'm not going to say it's extremely soft, but it's a little soft. I mean, I can see Houston, unless they just completely go brain dead or something. I see Houston taking over the first place spot within the next couple of games. Yeah, I am putting a bet that I am kind of hedging my bet on that Purdue will lose another one, and maybe they don't. But I would say Houston is set up to get that spot if Purdue doesn't.
And Purdue plays in the tougher conference as well.
Yeah, they do. Purdue does.
That Big Ten. That's a tough conference. Them teams beat the hell out of they beat up on each other.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Houston is getting ready to leave to go to a bigger conference too. They're getting ready to get out of the ACC. I don't know if it's the Big 12, but I know they're getting ready to go to a big conference.
And I know IU plays Rutgers tonight. And that's a Big Ten matchup. But if it was in Rutgers, I'd be even more worried. But it's at IU. It's still going to be a tough game. But I feel more confident with it being an IU. Yeah, man, it's going to be a fun March Madness because there's really not. I mean, there's not one team that you just say is dominant that is for sure. You know what I mean? That you for sure think's going to win it, or there's not those just 2 teams that are that dominant that you think is going to be in the finals. Like, this could be. I mean, there could be a lot of different teams that can make it in this tournament. And it's like kind of like last year. It's going to be pretty wide open, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, so Houston is going to join the Big 12. That's who they're going to. They're it says they got to pay annual installments until 2036 as part of its $18 million exit from the AAC. So when they actually join the Big 12, I'm not sure, but they're going to the Big 12, so they should be moving up and play here pretty soon. Which is good for University of Houston, honestly.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I love watching the March Madness. That's to me, that's some of the best basketball you see because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the NBA style. I don't know, just go down and heave up a three. You know what I mean? It's just not the greatest form of basketball. Let's just go down. Let's just go down, throw up a 3-pointer every time. Playoffs it gets a little better, but NBA playoffs get better, but NBA regular season, man, it can be tough to watch.
No, it can be. It can be. I agree. So, and I was earlier today, and I wrote a few notes on it, but I know there's been some NBA rumors that the T-Wolves and Lakers are linked to Fred VanVleet. We've all known that for a little while now. I wonder if he gets moved to that deadline, that before that February deadline, or that February 9th deadline. And then, so who do you think has the better route? I got to imagine the T-Wolves would be better. They'd be better positioned to trade. I think they got more to trade for than what the Lakers would. Now, the Lakers could give a 27 to 29, whatever draft pick, but I think Minnesota has more to work with in terms of a trade to get VanVleet over. What do you think?
I haven't looked at like what draft capital Minnesota has, but I'm assuming they have more because Lakers have traded all theirs away. So I would say Minnesota probably has a little more to offer. Because I mean, who's Lakers going to put in there? Russell Westbrook and a couple other players off the bench or something, or maybe in draft picks. But a 27 and 28 draft picks to me, how valuable are they? Because we're in 2023. So in 4 years, you could have a totally different team. So how valuable is it? You know what I mean? To try to get drafted 4 years from now. I'd be more interested in getting something that's going to help me now or in the next year or two instead of 4 years from now. To me, that make a whole lot of sense. I do kind of think VanVleet's going to get moved because from everything I'm hearing, the Raptors are basically going to blow that team up and rebuild.
It also talks about Siakam and Anabui and Trent Jr. are all getting interest from other teams.
Well, I'm hoping Anunoby ends up with the Pacers, but I think the Raptors are asking a little more than what the Pacers want to give up. But I think he'd be a great addition to our team. He'd help us on defense, and plus he's another scorer as well. So I think he'd fit in good with what we have. But I think VanVleet. I don't know where he's going to end up. I'm going to say he's going to end up with the Lakers just because I think the Lakers are going to try to do something after they missed out on Irving.
Yeah, because you got to imagine they've got to keep LeBron appeased, and they really screwed the pooch not bringing Kyrie over. I know they didn't want to. I know that Kyrie wanted more years of what they were willing to offer, but that really pissed off LeBron. But you know what? So be it. Because, just because LeBron is pissed off doesn't mean it's the right move. Because you got to imagine, like we said earlier, right? 2 years and LeBron is probably gone anyway, most likely. So why would you want to hang on to Kyrie beyond that 2-year scope of Bron being there is beyond me, right? So I think that they want to marry up those contracts so that when one is gone, so is the other one, and they can just wipe the slate clean of all that. And and then usher in, I guess, the new Laker era, right? So, which I gotta be honest with, the new Laker era looks like shit. I mean, seriously, because they literally have no draft capital at all. Now they do have a lot. They will have a lot of money to play with, so that's a positive, right? They can go out to free agents, try to make that avenue work, but zero draft capital most likely if they get complete.
No, they've traded it all away.
Well, they still have 27 and 29 first-round picks, don't they?
Yeah, but still, that's what 4 years and 4 and 6 years.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I mean, that's what I'm saying. For them, it's not a desirable draft pick. That's why I think the T-Wolves, most likely would be in a better position to bring them over.
What the Lakers are going to have to do is they're going to have to get rid of LeBron. trade him now before his value goes down some more.
Right.
And then Davis the same way, recoup a bunch of draft capital and some young players and rebuild. I mean, that's going to be their formula to get back to.
That's what I'm saying. I've been saying that for a hot minute now. That
sometimes you dug yourself too big of a hole. Now it's time to climb your way out of that hole. And the way to climb your way out of that hole is going to be blowing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Put a stick of dynamite in there.
You have to replenish your draft stock.
Go.
Yeah, because you have to you have to lower your cap space. You have to increase your draft stock.
They fucked up when they got rid of all that. And I know people say, "Oh, but they got a championship out of it." Well, whatever. They got a championship in the bubble out of it. But they fucked up by trading away all their young players to appease LeBron James. Think of the guys you could have on that team right now with LeBron if he'd just been
absolutely
patient.
Absolutely.
You could have Brandon Ingram. You had talent. Kyle Kuzma's not terrible. He could have been a good piece on that team. Lonzo Ball can't stay healthy, so I can't really say him. But there was young pieces on that team that they traded away that if they still had now, they'd be in a better situation than what they are.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the bad thing with LeBron is he is an incredible talent, no doubt about it. On the court, he can do great things, but I think his GM knowledge is horrible. And I think Rob Pelinka really let go of his power base and giving it up to Bron to bring in some of the players that Bron wanted brought in, and it just hasn't panned out for them. And now Bron has really set that team back a hot minute because of the people that he wanted to play with that didn't turn out to be so good. So Bron really hurt the Lakers a lot.
Let me ask you this: if you blow it up, do you tell Pelinka to hit the road too and get a new GM to build that team?
And that's the thing, right?
Your team needs to go. Pelinka a spot without LeBron.
Now, I think I get rid of Pelinka. I know people are going to think I'm crazy, but I think they get rid of Pelinka too. I think the Lakers need to start off completely fresh. I mean, they need to go in a different direction. And I think you need a strong, GM or president, making these decisions at the helm, and I think Rob Pelinka has kind of run his course. I think they need to go in a different direction. Yeah, again, they've traded all of their future away in picks. They have damn near, and that's a lot of that rests on Pelinka's shoulders. So I think you got to hold him accountable for where this Lakers team is. And if I'm Jenny Buss, I'm going to start making my own decisions and stop listening to 8 or 9 other different people give me 8 or 9 different things and then trying to choose the best one. No, sometimes you got to make your own damn decisions. And I think it starts with hiring the right general manager, that can lead you in the right direction. And then make sure he understands that, hey, you're the man. You make the decisions, not players. Players play on the court. General managers make the roster change. And then you have to have a strong backbone at the top so that backbone can lead to a strong core in the players. But it all starts with Jenny Buss making those right decisions.
Well, that's one problem, too. I think she has too many people in her ear. You got the Rambuses. You got Magic Johnson. You got this. You got that. You got you got too many people in her ear. You know what I mean? You have your 2 or 3 people, your couple people that are with you and your GM, and that's it. You don't need 12 different people's opinion, because the more opinions you get,
it really starts with her clearing out the house, hiring the GM, resetting the deck, and then this is where we are. This is the draft picks we got from Bron. Where do we go?
Hire a GM and let the GM do their job.
Because that's what the whole problem was, is that the GM wasn't allowed to do his, or I should say the GM was allowed to do his job. The problem is the GM gave up his power two players, and that's where Rob Pelinka went awry. He should have never, and I think it's funny now because now when they talk to Braun says, well, I'm just a player. I play. You got to talk to, Rob Pelinka or whatever for these decisions. Well, why wasn't they talking to Rob Pelinka at the beginning of it all? Why is he taking this stance now?
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. Well, man, let's go ahead and jump into final thoughts for today.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, hey, man, as always, man, like you said, we got a lot of good things on the horizon. I think between, NFL wrapping up with the Super Bowl and XFL getting ready to kick off, man. We're about to transition. Well, I should say we already are transitioning now, right? About to shift gears into get more into this NBA action and this XFL action. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a good time, man. And again, catch us tonight. Last final thought is catch us tonight on Unscripted. Gonzo will be there, man. We'll carry forth a whole bunch of other stuff we're going to get into, and it's going to be a good time for everybody. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it. 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch all of our live updates at Twitter at Unscripted Guys. All one word. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I need to find an XFL team too. I don't even think Houston has an XFL team. So
yeah, Houston has XFL team.
Do they?
Yeah,
I'm just getting into this XFL, so I haven't really dived into it much. But
yeah, they have it. They have a team. They had a team last time. They still do it. I think it's if I remember right, it's the Houston Roughnecks.
Oh, okay. I do remember that name, Roughnecks. I sure do. Yeah, it's been a long time since I heard that name, but okay. All right. Yeah. Because isn't that where Paul Walker came from? Or that the quarterback Walker for Carolina?
Yep. Well, he was on the practice squad for the Colts, and then he went to the XFL, and then was going to be the XFL MVP, and then COVID shut it down, and then he got out of that. He got to Carolina.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. Like I said, I liked it before the pandemic shut it down. I was getting into it, so I think it's going to be fun. I think the first game's February 18th, if I remember right, something like that. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll be live here about right around 3 with Easy Money and Sports betting show. Come join us. We'll be breaking down tonight's NBA games, some college basketball, and we'll talk a little bit. Yeah, that said, Texas has 3 teams in the XFL.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah. Well, obviously, I'll be going for Houston Roughnecks. But I need to start doing my research.
They had Houston. Arlington. And then I forgot San Antonio. So there's 3 teams there in Texas.
Oh, we don't go to San Antonio. We stay out of San Antonio. We stay in Houston.
But we'll be live right around 3 with Easy Money and Sports Betting Show. Come join us for that. We'll talk a little more Super Bowl picks, but we'll talk Friday will be the day we'll give our official Super Bowl picks, and we'll get out some of the prop bet picks as well. Like Jay said, tonight at 7, unscripted. Yeah. Wade Phillips is Houston's coach, which I remember that, but I think we talked about that a few weeks ago or something. Because I remember somebody saying about Wade Phillips, because XFL does have some good coaches. They have Wade Phillips there. Rod Woodson is coaching. I forget which team he's coaching. I mean, they do have some good football minds. But unscripted night, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you missed our wrestling 2022 Independent Wrestling Awards show last night, go check it out. You can find it on YouTube and Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all at Gonzo Sports Room and the All Sports All Plays Network. Big interview tomorrow at 5:30 with Dutch Boy Platinum, independent pro wrestler. He's a young guy that's really making a move on the independent scene. So make sure he was with us. He came on about a little over a year ago. and he hadn't been in the business long then. So he'll be back on tomorrow at 5:30. So come join us for that. It should be a great conversation. We appreciate everybody joining us today for the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. On behalf of Jay McLovin, I'm Chris Gonzo Gonzalez. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe.